Hello everybody, my name is Julia and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing a story of how I opened my company at 23. Also, I film videos for this channel every single day, so if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe and I'll be seeing you every single day. Okay, so it's been a wild ride, I'm not gonna lie, but today I'm gonna share a story of how I opened my company and how I became an entrepreneur at 23. Today I'm gonna walk you through all ups and downs and everything in between, so stay tuned. How I started. So in 2022, I came from Russia for an acting school. Before that, I was working as a team leader of a video production in Russia. I knew a little bit about online business and online schools specifically. So when I started my acting journey here, it was, a wild ride. And after graduating from school as an international student, I was only allowed to work within my field, and my field was acting. So you're gonna ask me like, Julia, how are you supposed to earn money with acting once you just graduated from school? Good question. You are supposed to work somewhere within the field, meaning entertainment, acting, anything that related. So I was looking for a job, and I am not lying to you, I could not do it. I was literally like applying. You know how that works. Like, I'm sure you know how that works. Like, you are looking for a job. No, nothing. Like, it takes so much time. It like, you feel like very bad. You don't want to do it, and you have to do it because you have to earn money somehow. And it started background acting. Terrible. Nope. I was, very desperate, and I found a job as a tutor for kids. So it was like a little part-time side gig that I did already. I was very low, couldn't do anything with my life, couldn't earn money. I was just trying constantly, but I just couldn't. As an immigrant here, I knew, and for me that was very a big problem, that my accent was a barrier for a lot of things. For all the actors and people in the performing arts, you know how accents it's a big deal. It's a big deal. If you don't, it's your instrument. And if you don't know your instrument, you won't be able to get as many jobs as you could have. So I was working on my accent a lot, and you can tell, I was so dedicated. I was working so much, and that was one of the things I nailed during the college. And in 2024, during the summer, I was just talking casually with my friend, and I was telling him about the journey that I made with my accent. And he was from Belarus, so he had a Slavic accent, and I was telling him all my journey with my accent, and he was like, oh wow, but can you teach that? And I was just like, oh, I don't think so. It's something that I just know, but I don't know if I can teach it. It's kind of it's a very different thing. I had my first class with him, and I taught this first student that for $20, but I had a lot of things I could share with him and with other people. And the same day I had this class, I created my page on Instagram that was devoted to accent and accent reduction for international people, specifically for Russian speaking. Since I went through all this journey, started just sharing some tips on pronunciation that I know. And basically a lot of people followed me, and a lot of people booked my classes and booked me. I was just like, what is going on? But that's kind of fun. And I started doing it as a side gig because I didn't know if that might be my occupation. I didn't want it to be my occupation. I was just teaching, not my thing. I don't want to do it. Oof, teaching, it's so boring. But apparently a lot of people booked me, and more people joined, and more people followed me. More and more people was texting me Julia, can you do you have private lessons? Can I book you? And I'm like, Yeah, sure, let's do it. The price for my class was very low at the moment, and I was working so much. I had so much classes during the day. I was so tired, and I was also working as a background actor, and I was also looking for other jobs at the same time. So it was like very overwhelming. And I thought, you know what? I could record everything I know already and then just share it with people so I don't say the same thing over and over and over and over again, because it's so tiring. I started working on my course, and at the time my Instagram was about like 2,000-3,000. My first video blew up. A lot of people kind of started following me, and it was like first 2,000, 3,000 people. And a lot of people were asking about private classes, private lessons, and I was just like, yeah, I do have them. And I was working on the course. So basically, it's like the same thing that I would explain during the class, but like pre-recorded in a way. Apparently, working on your material that does not exist at the moment is very hard. And I was managing multiple things at the same time. That's what I do. That's what I do. That was a very, very challenging and interesting at the same time, because I was researching a lot at the moment, because I knew stuff, but I was, getting my first kind of certifications as a phonetics and phonology teacher, because I was not supposed to do that, remember? I was kind of like navigating how do I form a whole course so people, after watching and after getting my feedback, they can actually improve their pronunciation. So that was my goal. I was researching a lot about how the phonetics of Russian language, my language, and English language, how is it different? How is it similar? Like, how do I explain it in a way that people understand? So that was my main goal. And it took me about 2 months to actually form the whole course, because it was not like, it's not easy. At that time, that did not exist. So I was constantly like looking for more information. I registered my Instagram page in June 2024, and I launched my first course in September. At the time, it was literally me and my mom. My mom, because she was so curious about my project, she was like into this whole online course business. She was taking some courses online, and she was very curious about my project, and she joined and tried to help me because I was so overwhelmed. I had my own students. I had to launch a course, which is so hard. I was literally creating my website by myself. I was attaching the payment systems to the website. I was creating content. I was, doing all the things, and being a teacher and being a content creator and being a manager and marketer and everything in one person. That was pretty hard, but the good thing about it is, of course, is that I didn't spend money on, my team. At the time, I didn't have any guarantee that it would work out. So I just had to, do it by myself and figure out how that works, and then hire the team if that works out. So apparently that worked out. My first launch was around 55 people joining my course. It ran for 3 months. It was just like full English phonetics for Russian speaking people. We had our first money, like we had our first launch, we had our first sales. It was, rewarding in a way. And during the course, I hired my assistant, who still works with me. She helps me with everything. She helps me with just like communicating with my students, navigating the whole administration. So cool. That was the best decision ever. And that was like my first step into going into like a business. We finished our first course, the first run in December, and in December I realized that I can't run my social media anymore. I can't film, edit, post everything and teach at the same time. So I hired my SMM specialist, and so happy with that. And then in January I formed my LLC. So I started treating that as a business. My Instagram at the moment was around 20,000 followers, and my videos were they were like going pretty viral, and people started recognizing me. I was just like, what is going on? Like all this time, like I am an artist. I did not want that as a career. My focus is on my artistic career, not on that. Like I treat that as my business, but my main goal is to build my artistic career still, because I'm an actress, I'm a singer. I really want that as a career. So I formed my LLC, and that's one point I would not recommend. If you can avoid forming an LLC, do it, especially if you live in California or New York. These are the worst states to form your LLC, because you will have to pay $800 every year just because you have it. Just because you have LLC, you have to pay $800. I mean, it's not bad, but at the same time, like, also tax is way higher for LLC. Like, it's just something that you can avoid. You can run your business just with your business account, and you don't have to form anything. But I had to. But you can definitely skip that part if your business is not as big. You can still do DBA, is doing business as, or something like simpler than LLC. I would recommend to look into it if you are trying to form something. Another tip is that if you want to start your business, I would recommend to go online first, and I think a lot of people do it right now. They just start online and they go from there, because once you start online, it doesn't take any resources other than your time. So you form for example, your online courses, or you do something, in your home office, and you sell it online. Once you kind of have your team and your actually like physical business, that is a big risk. I mean, any business is a risk, but that kind of business specifically is a bigger risk. I would not recommend to do what I did, but I would not recommend to skip that part also. Like, it's hard to do everything by yourself, because I did like the whole like thing by myself and the whole launch by myself. But I know that I did everything right, because I knew at the time how to do it and who do I need to hire in order to grow. I would recommend to do everything by yourself as much as you can. And then if you see your clients, buying your courses, your stuff, your consultations, then you go bigger, right? Like, that makes sense. Just start. Don't hire people until you have a really big need to, because once you have people hired, especially as your employees, so you have a responsibility now. So yeah, I would think about it twice. And I did not have any like roadmap for my business. Once I started it as like a tutor. But if you can plan ahead and like see what's going on out there, who are your competitors, what are they doing, how are they doing it, like why are they successful, why are they selling their stuff, I would definitely recommend to do it. Because once you have that understanding of what is going on, you will have a better understanding what kind of thing you can cover. Like, what are they not covering and what you can cover specifically. Accent reduction and working on your accent is something that a lot of people need. And a lot of people do not understand the phonetics of my language and the phonetics of English at the same level. Some people, for example, some native speakers, they understand English, but they don't understand what a person whose native language is another language, what are they thinking and what are they going through. So I could, cover that part specifically. Continuing with my journey, January 2025, I started like my LLC. I hired more people. It was about 5 people. We started another project that was not as successful as my course, but still we ran it for a couple of months, for 3 months, and we had to close it because we hired people for that project. It was like a club for film lovers, people who love movies and learn English and want to learn more about cinematography and while learning English, but it was not as successful as my course, so we had to close it, and we will, redo it a little bit, I think. Yeah, we hired a person who did our marketing for my course, and we had our second launch in March. We sold the same amount of spots, but the price was double this time, so we made more, and the team was bigger, so like it was just like we grew the team, we made more, but now it was like more serious in a way, because like all the sales were kind of strategically made. So once I was selling by myself, it was just like, me going with the flow kind of. Right now, I hired another person who does marketing. My mom still works with me. She's a financial director. I got my mom on board. She was so curious about that project. I still have my assistant, my SMM specialist, and it's kind of like the team that I'm working with right now. But yeah, it's very interesting how, that world works, and I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I didn't know that it would be that. Like, if somebody told me like a couple years ago that you would be like an online course tutor person, I'd be like, what are you talking about? Like, there is no way I'm doing it. But it turned out to be, it was just like my kind of it just led me, and I just followed it, and it was just the way it worked. If you're starving, you will find ways to eat. If you are not earning enough, you will find ways to do it. And I feel like because I was so desperate to find a job, I was actually like doing whatever it takes to do it. If you are interested in online business, I think that is something very cool. And if you know how to do something really good, you can sell courses online and you can grow your social media, because now everything comes from social media, like TikTok shop. Like, I know how much money they make. Like, it's crazy. Just people go on TikTok, scroll, they find something, and they're like, oh, I want that, and they buy it just because somebody on TikTok did it, And Dubai chocolate, how Dubai chocolate became viral? ASMR video with Dubai chocolate. And now this industry, like the Dubai chocolate people, they're slaying right now. They make so much money just because of this video. So everything comes from social media right now. I don't know how to emphasize it. I grew my business through social media. I know so many people who grew their companies through social media. Like, if you have great marketing strategy, if you have a great understanding of how the industry works, your specific industry, you're good. Look into successful companies, like how do they run their social media, like how do they sell through social media. But in order to sell through social media, you actually need a product to sell. Like, it's not gonna work. Like, you need both. Like, you cannot run the social media and then don't have a product, or have a product and don't run it on social media. That should be in balance. That was very surprising, because I am an actress and I am a singer. Like, I work in this industry. I'm building my career in entertainment industry, and that random thing that I did was more successful than my acting career and my music project. For now. Social media is something that all artists should do. Everybody should do social media. If they want to be big, like, they have to do social media. Like, if you don't have social media, either you became popular in, early 2000s, or you are, Elon Musk. Like, I don't know. Everybody who I know has social media. Like, it's the way it works. But yeah, that was my story about my business and about my experience with building my company. Any questions you have, ask them down below. I will read them all and answer them all. Follow my channel, follow my other social media, and I will see you tomorrow.